Today in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a compound butter. Now, what is a compound butter? A compound butter is made by incorporating various seasonings and flavorings into softened butter. Now, these are all also known in the professional kitchen as beurre composés. And so we use compound butters to give flavor to small sauces, and sometimes it can be even used as like a miniature sauce all by itself. Today I'm going to show you how to make a savory compound butter and a sweet compound butter. Let's get started. So right here I have 2 whole sticks of butter. If it's a little too hard, you know, we can go and put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds. We want this butter to be softened, but we don't want it to melt per se, because compound butter is not a melted butter with seasonings in it. It's softened, but it's not softened to the point where it is like becoming melted. That's not the goal here. We want this to stay solid. It should be softened enough where if I pinched it like this, it would squeeze like that. If that butter is too soft, it will be melted, and then it will be hard to shape it into our butter roll. So we're gonna go ahead. Now you can use your hands or you can use a nice spatula. Now once we begin to add our seasonings and combine it using a rubber spatula or a spoon or anything like that, but right now we need to get this softened. So I'm actually gonna just go ahead and use my hands because it'll get it softened enough where I can work with it just the way that I want it, and the heat from my hands will actually get it to a good consistency. The rubber spatula will be able to combine all of the ingredients together more easily. This is the consistency right here that we want. It just needs to be soft enough to mold and shape. I'm going to show you a quick little recipe for a nice savory compound butter that you can try. Alright, so we have our softened butter and I have my rubber spatula. I'm gonna make a garlic butter. I can probably use this on top of a steak or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna add some salt. You don't want to do too much in the butter, especially if it's salted butter that you're working with, so just a little bit of salt, some black pepper. I'm gonna go in with some parsley. Now you can use as much parsley as you want. Parsley doesn't really have that much of a powerful fragrance. If you watch my last video, you will see where I explain a little bit about parsley, but today I'm just showing you that, you know, it adds the color and it adds a little bit of the aromatics that you want. I'm gonna go behind it with some oregano. Now oregano is very fragrant and aromatic. And then lastly, I'm gonna follow it up, well, not lastly, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit of basil. Next I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, just about a half a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. You can use this as is as a spread for garlic bread or something like that, but when making the compound butters, usually we just combine all these ingredients together and then we roll them up, and we will get to that in a second. So I'm just going to go in with this. Now you can add Parmesan or something like that to this. I'm just going to work with the garlic and the seasonings. So this looks like it's about combined, and it smells really good already. So once your butter is combined, now we're gonna go ahead and begin to roll it. Alright, so now we're gonna get ready to wrap. Whenever you're getting ready to roll up your compound butter, your butter log, whatever you want to call it, you're usually gonna use plastic wrap. A lot of people use plastic wrap. Even in the kitchen we use plastic wrap, but in the case that you don't have plastic wrap, there are other ways that you can freeze it. One way is, today we're going to work with wax paper. You can use parchment paper, or you can use a silicone bag, anything like that. But today I'm going to be working with wax paper, and I'm going to show you how to wrap it. So we're going to take our butter. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to get it in there, and I want it to form already like a log. So I'm just gonna set it on the paper, and I'm gonna kind of press it out just a little bit. This smells so good. Okay, I kind of want to press it down and out just a little bit, but I don't want to press it too much. I kind of want to pinch the sides there to get it into a log. Now I'm gonna do this like this, pinch it just a little more. Now what I'm gonna do after that is I'm gonna take one end and I'm just gonna fold it like this. Now I don't want to fold it all the way to the other end back here. I just want to fold it down right here. And I'm going to try and get some pull right there to make it start to form that roll that we want. I'm going to fold, I'm going to pinch this right here. I'm going to pinch this right here. Now this is going to be as my little holding spot, because what I'm gonna do, if you have like a little mini cutting board or something like this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press down on this part right here, and make sure you have a lot of pressure right here, right on that edge right here. My left hand is gonna pull the second layer towards me, and my right hand is gonna push with my cutting board away from me. And I'm just gonna pull and push at the same time. Now, if you're look closely, you can see that it's beginning to spread. Now, just be careful that you don't rip the paper, but as you can see, it's beginning to spread and it's beginning to round out. Just a little bit more round. Careful not to pull too hard that paper begins to rip. See, the paper ripped. But luckily I'm done anyway. So that's good. So this is good. So now I have a nice roll right here. This is good for me. So now I'm just gonna take this like this, and I'm just gonna roll it forward. Now we have it a nice tight good roll. Now you can fold these in like this and just do like that. And this is gonna go in a freezer bag. When we put these in the freezer bag, we're gonna let it freeze for about a couple of hours. If you want to freeze it overnight, you can, but we're gonna freeze it for about a few hours or so, and we're gonna come back later and I'm gonna show you what it all looks like in action. This is gonna go in the freezer for about a couple hours, and after a couple hours we're gonna come right back. In the meantime, I'm gonna show you a recipe for a sweet compound butter. Alright, so now we're getting ready to do our sweet compound butter. So I'm gonna start with 2 more sticks of butter. Now, if you get your butter out of the freezer, or if you find it really cold, what you can do is you can put it in the microwave, but put it in the microwave for about 5-second intervals and just check for the softness. Like what I had to do here, because this one came from the freezer, is I let it go 15 seconds in total, but I did it in 5-second intervals because I don't want it to melt. I just want it to be soft enough to work with. Again, remember, don't get soft and confused with half melted like you usually would if you're making like a cookie or something like that. We want it soft enough to work with, but it's still solid enough to mold. I'm gonna start with about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now this is gonna be a brown sugar cinnamon compound butter. And we're going to be able to use this to spread on bagels, on toast, and everything like that. So I'm going to go with a little bit of cinnamon. And just like before, we're going to mix it all up. Alright, so now we have our butter here. Just it should be nice and compounded. So now we're gonna go ahead and roll it. All right, so I showed you how to do it with plastic, with wax paper. So now I'm gonna show you how to use it, how to roll your compound butter with plastic wrap. So I'm gonna do the same thing as before. I'm gonna take this, put it right in the center or top center, like that. Roll it out, mush it out, whatever. Now I'm gonna fold this, and I'm gonna do the same thing like before, except for I'm gonna fold it, and I'm gonna keep folding it and pressing it out. And I'm gonna do like this with it, pressing a little down and spreading it out. And taking those ends there and rolling it just like this. And when it gets to the length that you like, you can take those ends like this, twist them up like that. And this is gonna go in a Ziploc bag as well. You can put it in the freezer for later. In the freezer, compound butter lasts a long time. This butter, if you're gonna spread it on toast or bagels, you can leave it right in your refrigerator so it can stay nice and soft. If you put it in the freezer, it's gonna get hard and it might not be easy to spread. And when I come back, I'm gonna show you how both the savory and the sweet compound butters are and how they work in action. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, so it's been about a few hours. So now I'm going to show you guys. First, I'm going to start with the sweet butter. So right here, I have my little label. This is brown sugar cinnamon butter. We're going to take this out. Now, it's already pretty hard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll it like this. Now, if you're gonna use a knife or something, you can cut right through it, especially if that knife is sharp. You should be able to cut right through it. There you have all of that, all that stuff has been mixed in there. You got everything just in there. It's a nice, good, solid log. And now you can spread this. You can spread this butter on a piece of toast. Now, this is not cream cheese, so be careful not to overdo it. This is still butter. But yes, remember, this is not cream cheese. This is butter. So you still don't want to overdo it and get all those carbs and calories, and it can be unsafe to consume all that butter. But it's a nice brownish consistency, and it spreads really nice on that toast. And so that is our sweet compound butter. The next butter we're going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you how the savory compound butter works and what that looks like. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys what our savory butter looks like. So again, right out of my Ziploc, garlic and herb butter. Now this is the one that we wrapped in our wax paper. Now this, we're going to take this out of the wax paper carefully. Carefully remove that wax paper. Don't try to rip it off. Wow, it smells so good. This smells so good. It's very aromatic. I'm just gonna show you guys. Now this has been frozen and it's still frozen. So be careful when you are cutting it. Look at that, those. Now, with this savory butter, I'm cutting it like this because I'm going to use it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it in our pan and show you ways that it can be used and such. Now, whenever you're working with the compound butters, this savory butter can be used as the finishing touch. And if you cut off like a larger chunk like this, you can use that melted butter in the pan or whatever to baste the meats or the vegetables or whatever you're cooking in. Like I said, you can cook your food in this butter. Just cut off a piece of that roll and use it to start the cooking process. Or like I said, you can cut off a larger piece like so and use that melted butter to baste or whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you another way that this savory compound butter can be used. Even though it's used for sauces, or like I mentioned before, you can use it to baste. You can also just use it as a general way to get added flavor and stuff like that, even when you're baking. So right here I have a nice little seasoned chicken leg. It's lightly seasoned. So if I want to add a more crispier, buttery flavor, this is where that compound butter can go. Right before I place it in the oven, I can use a little bit of the butter that we made. Now obviously if you have more chicken, you would have to use more butter, but for this, I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna let it be on it. Now you can either let it be on there, like sit right on top or something like that, or you can try to get it in the little folds of the meat. When you're doing like Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that, and you're dressing up your turkey and stuff, you can always lather it up in butter. And this would be a great time. Thanksgiving is a great time to make good compound butters to season up your turkeys and stuff like that. So this is good enough. Remember, this compound butter is loaded with lots of seasonings and herbs and garlic. So it's going to give that chicken a nice buttery, garlicky flavor that we really want and enjoy. You would just put this in the oven and you would cook it, and all that butter and all those flavors would get right into that chicken and seep through. I'm going to show you how we're going to use this on the stovetop. So right now I have my nice pan. I have some good heat. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this on the stovetop. So I'm going to take a nice cutlet of meat. I'm going to use just a tiny bit of olive oil because I only have one piece of meat here. I'm going to let that get in there. Now, when we're working with compound butters, you can always use them as a sort of a sauce. In other words, you can use them to coat or whatever. So if you took that compound butter that we just had, and let's say you want to melt it and use it to spread on top of mashed potatoes, to serve on top of a fish or something like that as a nice warm sauce, you can absolutely do that. You also can cook with the compound butter the same way you would cook with regular butter. So this looks like it's getting about hot. I'm going to give it about another minute or two, and when this is nice and hot, I'm going to add in my pork chop. The butter that I used earlier, I forgot to mention, is salted already. So to avoid over seasoning, the over saltiness and all that other stuff, I'm going to be very delicate when seasoning this meat, because that butter that we use is already loaded with, it's already salted, then it has extra salt from the seasoning we added to it, and there will be a little salt on the meat. So we just want to make sure that we're not overkilling on the salt, which is important when you're cooking. So we're going to go ahead and add in that pork chop. Turn that heat down. I'm going to season this with a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And so this is going to cook. Now when we flip it, we're going to add in our compound butter, and that is going to work to base and get it nice and flavorful, and that way we don't over season our meat, and we don't want to rob the meat of all of its flavor. So we're just going to cook it very delicately, and then we're going to flip this over. When we flip it over, that's when we're going to begin adding in our savory compound butter. I think this is about ready to brown, to get ready to turn. I think yes, it's a good enough brown on the side. So now we're just going to turn it. And this is where we would add in our compound butter. Now, this may seem like a lot, but I'm going to use enough of it because I want to be able to use it to base the top of my thing. Now, you can also do it stuff like this. This is great too. I just want enough. I'm just going to melt enough of this block here so I can get a good amount so I can base my pork chop and get all those good flavors in there. That's about enough to bake, so this can go back in my thing, or I can put it in another dish and let it cool back down, but I have enough to bake. What we're going to do, and you can already smell all the garlic and the herbs and everything like that in that pork chop, and so I'm going to let this cook for about another 5 minutes, but I'm going to watch that because my compound butter has garlic in it, I don't want to run the risk of burning that garlic. I don't want to run the risk of burning that garlic or burning the butter. So I'm going to tilt my pan to the side. I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to go just like that. Now the purpose of basting is to restore back the moisture in the meat that was lost while cooking and bring it all back in there. Now look at that. It's nice, good flavor. Nice and good. And I'm going to turn my heat off now because this pork chop is nice and done. That butter is nice and melted. And I got to base, and I got a good melt and a good flavor unlock. Now there are many different recipes you can try with compound butter. Really, compound butter is nothing but another ingredient plus butter. So all you have to do is use your imagination, use your creativity, and come up with something new, tasteful, and come up with other uses for it. You can even make compound butters out of peppers, onions, things like that, and you can use them in your meals to cook meats just like I did here. You can do all types of things. All you have to do is be able to know how to understand how to create a compound butter and then let your imagination run wild. So this has been working with compound butters. I hope that you have a better understanding now of compound butters, how to make your own, how to store them, how to keep them, and I hope that you learned something that sparked a little bit of creativity so that way you can begin to see food as a canvas, like I always say. I am so excited to explore more topics to help all of you home cooks be better at what you do and have the best cooking experience. I will see you all in the next video.